Welcome to day 4 of the Colour Your Day with a Triad challenge. Today one of my lovely email subscribers suggested 3 of her favourite colours. Green, just because it's a favourite, purple for royalty, and orange because it reminds her of her yesteryear hippie days. So here's my stash of watercolours that I've been using, and I found an earth green, a manganese violet and a cadmium orange in the stash. Some of them are a little old. So I've been using my travel watercolour set for this little challenge, and this is the earth green and the manganese violet and the cadmium orange. So I thought today, just to make something different, we'd work on I'd video the colour swatching. So first of all, this is the earth green. Just have to spray it with some water. So this is the earth green. Nice grassy green. And this is the manganese violet. It's sort of a warm violet, this one. And the cadmium orange. Now this cadmium is very opaque, so it's not as translucent as the other two. So that's just something to remember when you're using that colour. So the next combination, then we're going to blend them. I'm going to use the manganese violet and the green. And we get a nice brown. Well, it's more of an olive green brown. You can see the green undertones in it. Which is a bit surprising, actually, earthy tones. And the next one we're going to do is I'm going to do the manganese violet, I think. With the orange. And this gives it a really burnt orange. So it depends on the quantities that you mix the colours with as well. So that way you can experiment with the different colour hues that you can get through maybe putting more purple in or more orange in. It changes what you like, but I quite like that colour. Very earthy tones, these blended when you blend the colours together. So the next one is the green and the orange. This is very similar to the violet and the green, but just is a lighter, more of a yellow ochre colour. All these colours are so typical of where I live in the landscape. Just decided I better write the names down in case I forget. I was getting a little confused with what colours I used. So some of my watercolors are different brands that I use. The green was a Schmink brand, I think that's how you pronounce it, and same with the violet. Whereas the orange was a Winsor & Newton. So it's good to experiment with different brands just to see which one you like the best. I found this one I'm using a mixed media paper in this sketchbook, and just seeing how the watercolor goes on mixed media. It goes on very smooth, very similar to a hot press watercolor paper, but I find it doesn't lift off very well, whereas some of the watercolor paper, specific watercolor paper, you can lift off color a lot easier, it seems. So this is Manganese Violet and the Cadmium Orange. And the Manganese Violet and the green. I think I wrote down orange, but I ended up realizing my mistake and changed it back to the green. Can you tell I'm recording this after I videoed it? Because I find it really hard to paint and talk at the same time. So I thought I'd do this as a little voiceover. So now I'm going to do the green and the purple, and this time just with a bit more purple. So it's very similar to the fourth one down, but just with more purple. So you get a darker, more of a muddy brown or a chocolate brown. Whoops, I'm not on the screen now. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'll be able to show you at the end of it. And then the last one I did, I ended up combining all three together. So basically it just gives another brown. Bit of a warmer brown, not quite as chocolate, probably more caramel colour, keeping with the chocolate theme. Tend to notice sometimes when I use the palette, I don't bother washing my brush in between because it cleans up anyway just by putting water and that with it after. Out here it's very dry, so it needs a lot of water, so I quite often have to mist the palette quite often. So this palette seems to have, there's a lot of warm colours, so it's primarily a warm palette, which is perfect because the day today is extremely hot and up to 40 degrees, and the humidity is quite high today as well. So have fun swatching today's colour triad, and I'll see you tomorrow for the last day of this mini colour triad challenge. Bye for now.